This episode of the ResortLoop.com podcast is brought to you by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's is proud to be the official specialty coffee of Disney. Enjoy drinks and pastries at Joffrey's kiosks throughout the parks and check out the Disney Specialty Coffee Collection only at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To the left of our forward motion, just beyond the trees, is the Walt Disney World Golf Resort, which lies in the middle of two 18-hole championship golf courses.
Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. You found the gateway to the magic. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
And this is episode 181. Bob, what do you have for 181?
Woohoo! That's all I got.
That's all I have as well.
Go. Hey, I got something for you.
I know
Tim.
you do.
OH.
I-O.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, they won. You know I'm a huge college, was it football follower.
I thought it was lacrosse. Oh. Yeah, congratulations, Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, the state's buzzing. It's awesome.
So, yeah, very exciting, very exciting. Tim.
Yes.
I am enjoying my Rwanda Joffrey's coffee. What do you got going on?
That is a good, solid coffee. I love that one, too. I am having one of my favorites, the Sumatra Adsinia.
Ooh.
I love that one.
Are you pronouncing that right?
I hope so.
And our good pal of the show, Chris DeMezzo, is down in Colombia right now.
I know.
Diligently finding new coffee beans.
I Facebooked yesterday that he's the hardest working man in coffee.
Yeah, it has to be.
You know?
My gosh. So
I'm just thankful he brings it all back, to the States so we can all share in it.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, let's not forget that code anniversary through March to get their 30th anniversary blend, which is fantastic as well.
I love the 30th anniversary blend. I have a bag of that upstairs I'm waiting to crack into, too.
Oh, yeah, me too. Joffrey's Coffee, the official coffee of ResortLoop.com.
Ding!
Shameless plug. Anyway, Tim.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today we are joined by long-time looper, and now Disney blogger. He knows it all. He lives down there. It's Michael Black. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks
Michael.
for having me, guys. Again.
Absolutely. And you forgot, Tim, fellow Buckeye.
Yes. And I should also introduce him as the husband of Christina Black.
Yeah, that's what everybody knows him by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how he signs his autograph books.
When he's in the parks?
Exactly. Come up to him in the parks and he will sign that for you.
That would be awesome.
That's right. I have a little swirl that goes with it and everything.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I expect that if I come down there in May, or when I come down in May, I want you signing my autograph book like that.
That would know, Bob, whenever you come down to Florida, I seem to leave and go to Ohio.
Exactly. Well, believe me, I wish I had left like a week ago when it was freezing cold up here.
Ugh.
So that would have been a good trade-off for me anyway.
Yeah.
You guys all complaining about 35 at night, and it was, what, Tim, minus 10 or something here?
Exactly, and I think it's like 12 now.
Woo!
Yay!
We're having a heat wave.
It gets chilly. It gets chilly.
We need a sweater.
I had to decide, am I going to wear shorts? Am I going to wear pants? This is complicated. So,
You poor man.
Just wear one or the other.
Well, the reason we've got Michael on today is Michael has been a cast member, a former cast member now, at Walt Disney World. And we just kind of wanted to get a little bit inside scoop on what's really going on down there.
Yeah.
So when I met you, Michael, you were at Port Orleans Riverside, or Port Orleans French Quarter, and you were nice enough to give me a beignet.
Yes.
So what?
Beignets.
They were delicious, by the way. Yes, my kids still talk about that today. So what's it like to work at Walt Disney World?
I don't want to sound cliche, but it is magical at moments. And then there's moments where it's work because you are getting paid for it. So there are going to be aspects that are a little work-like. But it's kind of a weird atmosphere, especially for a Disney lover. Because when you go in initially, it's almost like a Disney, what did I want to call it? Fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Where you get to go. And I was like, that's what it seemed like to me. The first couple weeks was like a Disney fantasy camp. You get to see inside. You get to go places you never got to go. And it's just exciting and fun. At some point, it turns into a job. But the guests really keep it interesting and fun and magical. And their happiness is really what matters. So in the end, it's a great time. That's all I can initially say.
Here's the thing that a lot of people don't maybe appreciate of cast members. That's a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, no holidays off place to work. So,
yeah.
I mean, you probably had to work some holidays. You had to work some late nights. Because you also worked at on Main Street, right?
I worked on Main Street, and my first position before I was at French Quarter, I was actually at Magic Kingdom in Frontierland, slinging turkey legs, churros, that sort of thing.
Nice, cool.
And like I always like to say, I've gotten the best of like almost every world, mainly Magic Kingdom, and then I got a resort to work at. But it seems that everything that I would go down to Disney World to eat or do or whatever, I've had the opportunity to be on the other side of it. And I don't know how it happened that way. I tried for a monorail driver position, didn't get that one. But
that would be a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I think they lure you in with that. They're like, ooh, come and play. You can be a monorail driver. You get there and they're like, well, all I have is quick service. Are you interested in quick service?
Right. Now, I got to ask you this question. Since you worked at the turkey leg stand, will you still consume turkey legs?
Don't quote me on this. And this is going to be on record, I suppose. I'm not a huge fan of turkey legs. But
even before you worked there?
Even before I worked there.
Oh, okay.
And now every time I pass it, it does kind of the smell. I get a little nostalgic, but the grease and stuff that would splatter all over my shoes and all that stuff, that starts coming back. And yeah, it's not the best. But hey, I see everybody else enjoying them, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know they smell fantastic, but I can imagine after maybe a couple bites, I'd probably be done.
Yeah, in the whole kitchen where everything is prepared back there, the whole thing smells like turkey legs.
Oh.
I mean, It doesn't matter what else was cooking back there or prepared back there. The whole place smells like turkey legs.
It's Thanksgiving Day every day.
Exactly.
So what was the latest you had to work?
I've had a 3 a.m. shift, and that's when you're at the Magic Kingdom. That is what happens. You're going to get scheduled those late nights, and it doesn't really seem that bad. I mean, you're at the Magic Kingdom. You can't really tell what time it is anyway. Mm-hmm. It's just it's go time, and that's all that matters. So it's not that big of a deal, but I will tell you it is a big deal on the family front, and that is the main reason why I'm not there. It's not the job per se, and I really did enjoy what I did. That schedule is a little difficult when you're married to a teacher. Her schedule is obviously very set, and when my schedule would come out, it would almost inevitably be opposite of hers.
Oh, I know how that works.
Yeah. So,
and you've got little kids.
Yeah,
so,
we do. And what's the point? We've always said, what's the point of being down here if we can't enjoy it?
Right.
So
there you go.
Had to follow other avenues. I had to leave the mouse again, and it was I don't know, heartbreaking. But
would you go back?
I would go back, but I think it's going to be under circumstances like after the kids are grown, that sort of thing, to where it would be a retirement job, probably.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Give us one of your best guest experiences? What would be one of your best guest experiences? Of course, other than
Meeting Bob.
meeting
Well,
me.
That's always a highlight in everyone's life, I found.
Hey,
He's so nice.
hey.
Hey. Don't
The
make me come
only
over
thing that was wrong with that interaction was it just wasn't long enough. Tim.
See that?
all
Now
I
that
can
I've never
say.
heard. I've never heard that before.
I know that's not true. Anyway,
Well, I'll tell you what. There are some experiences that I actually started to tear up as a cast member. It's one of those things you can't help, especially when you're such a Disney fan. Some stuff just causes you to tear up. I can't describe it. But I remember there were a couple of them. One was when I was training on Main Street. My trainer said, "Come on," and she grabbed one of the Mickey glove hands, and she grabbed one for me, and she said, "We're going to go greet the guests as they come in." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so we stood out there, and I have never been there for the welcome ceremony at the Magic Kingdom. We just don't get up that early. So we've never been there for it. But here I was seeing it from the backside, and I saw the train come in with the characters. They're waving, and the countdown happened, and everything goes. And see, I'm getting a little emotional telling the story.
I'm getting it listening to you.
But then the guests start coming in, and they're just so happy, And I'm the first person that they see when they come out of that tunnel. I was right there, kind of where Snow White usually is, off to the right there. And I just was waving and waving in disbelief, and the tears just started coming. I'm like, "You got to hold it back, man." these people are happy. They're ready to go. And,
wow.
So that was probably my most magical moment I've had as a cast member.
There you go. That's when it's more than just a job, I think, is when you can make magic for other people, and that's awesome. That was very cool.
Yeah, at that point, I'm almost positive that they had more of an effect on me than I had on them. And that's what's kind of amazing, is that I'm there getting paid to do this. They paid to come in, but I'm the one that's receiving, most of the, I don't know how you could say it, emotion.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. 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 Because for them, they're busy racing to the next, whatever the ride they want to ride first, and you're able to take it all in. So
exactly.
That's very cool. Very cool. Got to ask, does working there, you were a Disney fan anyway. That's one of the reasons you went down there to live and get a job there. Does it take away any of the magic, working for the mouse?
I don't think that it does. I think it gives you a little more insight on how that magic is produced. But at the same time, it's kind of like, if we're using the magic metaphor here, it's kind of like a good magic trick. You may know how they do it, but when they do it correctly and they execute it perfectly, you're still in awe by the performance.
Right. Right.
So to me, even though I know what's going on, I know how the magic's being made, I still am in awe that they can execute it as well as they do, and as consistently as they do. So that on that front, I don't think I'll ever have an issue with that, as long as they keep delivering.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. You guys go to the parks quite a bit.
We do. I went the past 2 days in a row with the first day we allowed my son to stay home from school, my 11-year-old, on Tuesday after the game. He was up a little late. Anyway, we thought that Brutus was going to be at the Magic Kingdom, and we thought it would be a big pre-parade moment, and we get to see Brutus. And
right.
So I took my two sons and we went to the Magic Kingdom, and we were there, and we waited, and finally, nothing happened. I did talk to a cast member, and I said, "Is Brutus here?" And she's like, "No, he's not here today." And I was like, "Okay." So I came back the next day, which was yesterday. Me and my other son had to go back to school. But me and my youngest, we went again, and we sat on Main Street for a couple hours waiting for the parade, and he just enjoyed a happy meal. It was an amazing experience, to tell you the truth, just sitting there with him, because I got a lot of good pictures, and we had a lot of good cast member interactions. But anyway, no Brutus yet again.
Oh.
So I came home, and somebody shared with me after I was complaining that Brutus wasn't there. They shared with me a picture that they saw on Twitter of Brutus in front of Cinderella Castle. And then someone else shared with me a picture of Brutus riding Dumbo. And I said, these have been photoshopped. They have to have been. Because I did not see him. So he was not really there. But to answer your question, yes, we do go quite a bit.
I hate to tell you this, but I am looking at the Disney Parks blog as we speak, and their very first blog is Brutus Buckeyes celebrates Ohio State's win at Walt Disney World Resort.
Well, I want you to look at those pictures, Bob, and I want you to tell me if you see any guests in those pictures.
No, but I never see guests there in any of the promotional stuff, and that's why everybody thinks, "Oh, we're going to go down there and just have the run of the park," and that's
so empty. It's so empty.
I told my wife, I said, "I'm telling you, this is a conspiracy. They have already had these done. They did it before the park opened." It's so funny because it's not a possibility that I couldn't have been at the exact place Brutus was.
Did you see the commercial, though? The Disney Parks commercial where Brutus says it? Yeah. That is awesome.
Isn't that awesome? It is. And I said that's why I really wanted that experience of my two loves together. I thought it would be a really special moment, and I lost it. But that's okay.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year, definitely.
All right, I got to ask the question I'm sure everybody's asking. Give us the worst guest experience you've had. No names, please.
Okay.
And don't say me.
It can't be both.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I tell you, and this is going to sound like a cop-out, but my worst guest experience actually turned into one of my better ones because it was able to turn around, which you hope you can accomplish with everybody. Some people you can't, but this certain experience, it was when I was working at French Quarter at Sassagoula Floatworks, and I was working at dinner time, and a guest came up and wanted to know basically every ingredient that was in one of the dishes we had. And he was asking me just point blank to tell him what this was. Now, cast members that are out there serving, they're not chefs. They're not even culinary. They are there to give the correct portions of what they're told to give the guest. Now, we try to answer the questions as best as we can. We actually go through training classes to learn the menu like a server would anywhere. But there are times when we just don't know the answer. So I politely said, "Sir, I don't know, but I can get you a chef if you would like." And that was not a good enough answer for him. He did not want to wait for a chef. He wanted me to answer him, and he thought it was unacceptable. So we kept talking for a little while, and he kept berating me and basically calling me ignorant and about everything under the book. He didn't call me stupid. I took ignorant because I didn't know the answer to the question that he asked.
Still, geez.
But I just stood there and kind of took it for most of the time. And what eventually happened was, after he got it off of his chest, and I allowed him to vent it off of his chest, I think there were underlying issues here. I don't think it was just that I didn't know the ingredients. I was able to get him a leader, and that leader talked to him for a little bit, and then eventually he came back, and we had a pleasant conversation. by the time his vacation was over, this was 3 days later, I was working at the bakery. He came over to me, told me what an amazing job I was doing, that he has not seen better, guest service, and wanted to know if I could find him a leader this time so that he could acknowledge, what I was doing.
Aww.
And I can't figure out for the life of me what I did to change from an ignorant about everything else, to the best guest service. And all I can imagine is that I just was patient and listened to him.
Right. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's probably the worst guest I had. So
That's not bad.
no, that's not bad at all. So, I think I've been a worse guest to cast members than I had to me, to be quite honest.
Well, I tell you, does Disney kind of teach you how to deal with guests like that, unhappy guests?
It's pretty much, the guest is always right. I mean, of course, the culture there is such that the way that the leaders, would be the managers, the way that they treat the cast members is in a really positive way. So the whole culture is such that you would be totally breaking the culture to do anything other than listen and be patient. And I think that's why they're able to do what they do. It's not like there's special classes where they say, this is how you do it. And it's all built into the culture.
Okay.
And I've worked for places before where they've tried to teach customer service, but their culture was not great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, you can't sustain that sort of thing. It has to be just I hate to keep saying culture, but it has to be that part of it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, it is. It is a complete mindset that Disney has, and I know I've shared this before, but years ago when I was in college, I got a chance to do a presentation with, not me, but I was part of a production company that was doing the presentation to this other company that bought the Disney. Disney does those classes for corporations. I can't remember the exact phrase they used, but this was back in the 80s. And when I watched it, because I had to watch it along with this company, it just amazed me. The culture, the mindset that the Disney company has. It's all about excellence and making a great guest experience.
Michael, let me ask you. I heard, at least back in the day when people were hired at Disney, they had to go through this special, was it traditions training?
Yes.
Did you do that? What's that like? What's involved in that?
I have done it 3 times.
Oh, so you know it.
Oh, I'll tell you, and that might be what keeps me coming back. I don't know. It is a day filled with that's basically the fantasy camp. It's incredible. It's a day filled with them teaching you the culture, basically showing, and not without preaching. They're showing you, this is where we came from. This is what we do. This is just who we are. And you're in such awe about, especially, I could imagine, especially someone who's coming in that didn't know the Disney company, didn't know what all they, owned and everything that Disney encompassed. I think they would be pretty shocked and in awe by it. And just to sit there and be part of it. And then it changes because like I said, I've been through it 3 times, and I don't think it's any secret that you get your name badge, and it's just a magical moment, and somebody special comes and brings you your name badge. I'm not going to say who it is just in case,
Okay.
but it's someone very important, comes and gives you your name tags. And it's just a special moment because you really feel that this company understands how important you are as just somebody going to work at a quick service restaurant or someone who's just going to sell merchandise. You are that important that this particular person or animal or whatever would come and take time out of their busy day to give you your name badges. And it really makes it a special moment. And there's another one of those tearing up moments. The first time, I kind of saw it coming the other two. But the first time, it was...
I know Tim did that with me.
It's true.
When he welcomed me on board Resort Loop.
Oh,
it was, it was a special moment.
Very
anyway.
magical. And then sign this paper.
And I'm going to tell you, I've worked for Universal as well. And I have also worked for SeaWorld. So, I know this seems like an amazing round for someone to make in 3 years, but these aren't exactly jobs that have a low turnover ratio. But anyway, Disney does it. I can't even explain. It's leaps and bounds above what anyone else can bring you in.
Wow.
Universal was, or the other park, however you want to say it, the other park in Orlando, they did a really good job. I can't say that they didn't, and maybe it's just my love for Disney that put it over the top. It's a possibility. But I just think nothing can compare to the way Disney does their orientations and really makes you feel like part of the team.
You're not the only one I've heard say that.
No.
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, I got to be honest with you, Tim. I'm tearing up hearing the birds.
I know.
In the background as we sit here in 10-degree weather.
Exactly. If I listen out my window, I hear snowplows and salt trucks.
Well, you can pretend that garbage truck is a snowplow if you'd like. They sound much the same.
Yeah, they do.
Exactly.
And I will tell you, for the purpose of this phone conversation here. Oh, I mean, we're in the same studio, aren't we?
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
I did turn off the pool so that you didn't have to hear the pool running, the fountain running down. I know that would have,
Tim, kill his mic already. He's killing me. So, Michael, real quick, my last question for you is, would you recommend to other people that are interested in working for the Disney company down at Walt Disney World or probably any of the Disney parks to just take that leap?
Okay. This answer has changed quite a bit for me throughout each time that I've worked there. As a huge Disney fan, I don't think it's the best idea. And there's reasons why, not because, I've already told you it doesn't really ruin the magic. And all of that. What it is when you're sitting there and you're at work in, say, the Magic Kingdom, it is awesome that you get to get paid to interact with guests and stand there, but you also cannot go do anything else. You're in your favorite place, the most magical place, and you can't leave your location. You can't go,
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of difficult as a Disney lover to be strapped down in this park. And then it's one of those things to where when you get off work, you don't necessarily want to go back all the time. And so in that aspect, it kind of cut down on the amount of time I spent in the parks as a guest because I was in there as a cast member so much.
Okay.
And I think that really affects your family more so probably than you, because my wife might have wanted to go more often than I was willing to.
Okay.
Right.
So
that's
the only thing. If you're not a Disney lover, which I don't know why you would be listening, but if you're not, I say, yeah, it's a great company to work for. I can't say anything bad about the culture or the company or the way they treat you or, anything else. I think it is an amazing place to do your college program. Those kids seem to have a lot of fun. And they work hard. They work very hard, but they have a lot of fun doing it. It seems to be, like I said before, I would go back and work there when I retire. I think it would be an amazing retirement job to have. But I don't know. Did I answer the question at all?
Absolutely.
Let me ask a similar question. So would you recommend any Disney fan consider moving down to Florida close to Disney but not working there?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I tell you, we had a little moment at the end of summer. I mean, because that's about the time that you start to lose your mind down here. At the very end of summer, because you've dealt with heat, you've dealt with humidity, you've dealt with crowds, you've pretty much, and what I learned being a homeowner for the first time in Florida is that there are many creatures, crawly things that come out in the summer that, you don't deal with when you're in an apartment like we were the first 2 years. So there was a moment where we thought, maybe this is not going to work. Maybe we need to cut our losses here, go back to Ohio because this is just not working. But then we visited Ohio in November for Thanksgiving. And upon being there for a couple of days, we love our families, don't get us wrong, and we really enjoyed time with them. But we got extremely cold. And it's funny that would be the main factor, but it really is a huge factor. Right. And on top of which, I can't imagine a day, and neither could my 2-year-old, because he's never known anything but this, a day when we couldn't go to a park if we wanted to.
Right.
So I think that I would definitely recommend it. It takes some getting used to. And I will say that I just got my real estate license. So if anyone is looking to come down.
Excellent. That's Michael Black.
Plug for myself there.
There you go.
You can contact me.
There you go. Well, Tim.
Yes.
That is all I've got for Michael.
Oh, fantastic. Michael, where else can people find you?
Well, I do have my blog, heartofthemagic.com.
Okay.
And I also am still writing. I don't know if anyone listened to the previous time I was on. I'm still writing with passporttotheparks.com. And the owner of that site, Rob, just moved down here as well. So we're really looking at positive things going on with that site moving forward.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
So, and if you personally want to get a hold of me, it's Michael Black 2396 on Facebook and at Grumpy23 on Twitter. The Twitter.
There you go.
Awesome.
The Twitter.
Michael, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. Oh, it's our pleasure. You can find me on Twitter, Resort Loop Tim, on Facebook at Tim Resort Loop Scott. We also have that website, ResortLoop.com.
Sorry, Tim. I am Resort Loop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget Facebook.com/Resort Loop. Like us over there and rate us on iTunes. Where else can they listen, Tim?
You can always find us on Stitcher.
The Stitcher.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been The Gateway to the Magic.
See you, everybody.